Okay, and hello, and welcome to Wargaming in a Cave. Today we are playing the Battle of Charloi as our 1815 campaign kicks off. Let me take you over to the table. Here we go. We're playing a 14 by 6 foot table using General d'Armée. The Prussians are on the defence, and the French are seeking to drive their way to Namur or Ligny. I'll give you a tour of the Prussians first. There we are, they're in position. That artillery assault order so far, this is turn 2, we've just finished, hasn't produced much by way of results. The Prussians here lining the stream, in readiness for the French, who are just appearing at the bottom of the road. This is just a small village, it's not Charloi, we're just on the outskirts of the village as far as the campaign is concerned, and as you can see, the Prussian line extends over here. Let me take you around to the French side. The French, this is the end of turn 2, their veteran cuirassiers have charged forward at the start of the turn. They started again, came on forwards order, then they seem to have applied their handbrake and not moved quite as quickly in the second turn. Regiments of chasseurs, nicely painted. You'll note the pink jackets. They're done by Martin. Some French dragoons. I think they're masquerading as chasseurs. And then the French infantry have just started to appear. They're in that funny march column because they're not quite all on the table. The brigade there, just having suffered the catastrophe of losing their artillery due to some good shooting and a very poor morale roll. Here the French are deploying along the road as their march towards the village and on to Charloi starts. Updates to follow. And here we are at the end of turn 4. As you can see, the French cuirassiers have arrived in this position remarkably unscathed. That horse artillery, despite having artillery assault 3 times, has failed to inflict much in the way of losses on the French. And the Prussians holding the hill are starting to take some casualties from that French horse artillery. The cuirassiers, I suspect, are lining up to charge next turn. Over here, the French cuirassiers are demonstrating against the horse artillery and forcing this Prussian unit to turn its flank. Here, the Prussians are still holding the stream. French advance not yet made it this far. However, you'll see that their skirmishers have started to appear, but the lead column suffered another dose of good artillery fire from this battery here. I hear rumours from Blucher that they are to receive medals for their marksmanship with their artillery pieces, bringing that lead battalion to cause it to fall into unformed and has given it 6 casualties. So that one will be halting for a turn. Over here, no real pressure yet on the village. There's been a bit of sniping now with the skirmishers in range. And to the east, Prussians just holding their line, cavalry protecting the flank, just in case all of those newly arrived French, which I'll come round and show you, decide to try and outflank. Here you'll see then they are masquerading those Empress Dragoons. Thankfully they're not Empress Dragoons, but the Lancers about to start trying to carry out a flanking manoeuvre here in the middle. Columns deploying. I can foresee an assault on the village will be coming up shortly. Let's hope it's not too successful. Over here, oh, there are 12-pounders that suffered those 4 casualties. Well, that's a shame. So anyway, that's the end of turn 4. As we move into turn 5, will the French force their hand and attack the village, or will they continue to manoeuvre for position? Right, okay, turn 6. And you joined us just as the cuirassiers are retiring after having charged in. Martin, with the odds in his favour, unfortunately, on the re-rolls. Any comment on the re-rolls, Martin?
Thanks for your help, David.
Seeking solace in his beer as they retire. However, the chasseurs are about to charge home, or try to, against the Prussians' cavalry, so we shall see what happens. You join us just as the French cavalry have smashed through the Prussians, inflicting heavy losses, which will cause them to rout, which may yet see this flank turning. Update. Well, Charloi, or the village on the edge of Charloi, I don't think that can be Charloi, it remains in French hands. The Prussians were soundly beaten, not managing to inflict one casualty. Over on the right, after much success against the cuirassiers, the chasseurs proved to be the undoing of the Prussian right, in that they have routed one unit, causing it to disperse, and forced another one back. Next turn is going to be interesting, because the chasseurs are in an exposed position. Can the French make the most of their advantage?
Light cavalry brigade.
You join us
Dragoons are the first.
just as we are totaling up casualties at the end of the battle. Prussians have retired in reasonable order. They've taken a few casualties,
Dragoon brigade.
nothing too much.
Okay.
The French are pushing forward at the end.
9
Meaning the
casualties on the cavalry.
Prussians were left with no
and 2 artillery
real
casualties.
option other than to retire. Well,
So
they
Artillery got no casualties.
noticed the
you
masses
mean 9 and 2 makes 11?
Yeah.
9 and 2
of
makes 11.
So for the
French.
brigade, it's 11,
Yeah,
So the
that's
Prussians have lived to fight another day. They will retire to Ligny, where they will hopefully meet up with Blucher and the rest of the Prussian army,
Oh,
and the
David.
campaign will continue.
You should have come this thing,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Interview with Gruchy. Any comments for the camera?
Grouchy.
Grouchy.
It's
Grouchy.
pronounced Grouchy.
Grouchy. Grouchy. Gruchy.
Grouchy by name, Grouchy by name.
No commentary. And from the glorious chasseur commander,
I was only obeying orders.
and from von Kleist about your delaying action.
I'm pleased to say my men are front number. My men are safe. Not from the dead.
So, until next time, from Wargaming in a Cave.